We were told this would be an incredible slate. We were told this is one of the best slates of the year. Maybe even your humble narrator was saying such things, mere hours ago. Well, now we are here staring at snowflakes from Michael Thomas, Joe Holka, his captain Antonio Brown in his showdown lineups, and Michael Leone couldn't even get the Browns for his Bills in the conference championship weekend. We are punting it off. This is one of the final tilt spaces of the year. We are here. We thought in our heads, we said we would have this incredible sweat going. We'll save it for halftime of the last game. We'll ride it through. It's looking pretty bad right now for us, fellas.
Yeah, pretty bad is one way to put it. Coming into the day, we were, kind of filled with some optimism. We did not have any of the cheap Packers that went off. We did not have Diggs yesterday, but we avoided a lot of landmines. Full fade of Devin Singletary, who was nearly 50% owned and stunk. Full fade of Cam Akers, who was fine, but not like he didn't kill you. And then we had two pretty clean teams then with Bills defense at 10 to 20% ownership and clearly the best D play on the slate. I mean, that's like picking up 13 points on the field. We felt good. CEH ruled out late. So, we played some Bell, we played some Darrell Williams, did not play the correct one in the correct spots. And it just kind of slowly crumbled today, capped off by really this first half with Drew Brees and Michael Thomas having a combined 1.62 points.
Yeah. Well, I'm not going to sugarcoat it, guys. It's not good. This, if I'm going to take off just like we're doing a show here, but I'm going to be real with you guys for a second. This might be the worst slate I've ever fucking seen. Like, this is like as well positioned as we were in some ways after yesterday. I don't know if I could have imagined this slate going worse. For us, for me, like, it's probably the worst showdown like performance I've ever had in either. Like, I didn't even fucking sniff anything in this game. Like, I don't know what's happening with Michael Thomas. I don't know what's happening with Drew Brees. The fact that we're just going to get the Jameis Winston to Traquan Smith burial is absolutely brutal. If you kind of we're waiting for this game to save you, like Mahomes goes down. A lot of there's like things that fell into place for this just to be the absolute hammer, and the people that just kind of went all in on game number one and took those shots are going to get rewarded, which is fine. But man, this is like waking up today in the spots that we were in a lot of these teams. This is like got to be like a bottom 5% outcome.
Yeah, it's tough. The mega owned expensive Chiefs both get there in Kelsey and Tyreek, even with Mahomes out, which hurts. And you talk about people who played that early game winning. We saw ownership on Adams coming off. We read that correctly. We played 50% Adams. He comes in at 10%. We feel good. We pick up no edge there because the Chiefs guys match him or beat him. Diggs beats him. And that's extra frustrating because Rodgers comes in at 2%, and like Rodgers cheap stacks, get there with Alan Lazard. That's the play is Alan Lazard and the expensive Chiefs. And I just don't think I was ever getting to what needed to happen. And I certainly, the Michael Thomas thing, I bet the ETR guys, I took a very pro Michael Thomas stance. I threw my neck out on the line. Don't usually get emotional with those bets. I did it. And I don't know if I can continue to work there. I might have to resign
Can't face it.
before I have to talk to Adam Levitan again. I don't know if I can do
And
it.
Adam used to be the guy who used to call him Ty Fluke, man, and now he's placing bets on him over Michael Thomas. The other thing that I think, if we pull back looking at this slate, I mean, this was not a slate where correlation was rewarded. We were trying to identify some of these spots where the games might pop off. Everyone's trying to chase that dragon of the Pittsburgh Browns game from last week. Like, we did not have that game this week. Like, there were all of these landmines, and it was these one-off plays that gets there. I'm looking at the top scorers. You needed the Kelsey and Hill. You needed Diggs. You needed the cheap Lazard to open things up for your Rodgers and Adams. And it was one of those, like, play the right best play slate. And those are never going to be good slates for us the way we build.
No, it's ironic to you say that too, though, because I built a lot of teams kind of around that, where I didn't want to go all in Kansas City, Cleveland, because I knew it was going to be mega chalk, and mega chalk sort of an understatement of how that game ended up. And as a result, I was going to be spread out, maybe a little bit heavy, New Orleans, Tampa Bay. But I was kind of set up to take advantage of that type of slate, Peter. The problem is, with the lack of correlation, Kelsey and Tyreek still both getting there just really, really hurt, like, because if you were playing like I was, you weren't getting off necessarily the cheap values. You were spreading out the expensive values, I guess. That's how I built. So I did take this spread approach, but it was with the expensive guys, and you still kind of needed the chalk expensive guys from KC. But then it was the cheap guys that you mentioned that would be very spread, or maybe even Diggs with the Bills defense in there. That was super odd.
Yeah, and it is really, I mean, the Mahomes premium was going to get there if Mahomes didn't leave. Like, that would have been the optimal, where you have Mahomes, Kelsey, Hill, and then you get the right punt play wide receiver with Lazard and Reynolds. And our buddy Chris Neville, that was the exact build that he has in the Game Changer. So we're in the 1500 Game Changer. He's up there right now in 4th place. He had the Mahomes to Hill and Kelsey, and then nailed Lazard and Reynolds. He also had to go cheap at running back to unlock that with Singletary and Akers. And then he has Landry as the bring back, and then the Saints defense. But that was the construction for this week to get up to Hill and Kelsey. It was just tough because they were both going to be 50% owned. I guess the interesting thing to me would be how many people played both of them together, because that was hard to do. And that combination together probably ended up being pretty unique.
Yeah, I was talking to him about his team because obviously he's been up pretty close to the top of the leaderboard for most of today. Yeah, I think he was just prioritizing getting to that Mahomes triple, obviously. But one thing that I think he did extremely well, we mentioned it, that we probably should have considered it a little bit more. If he was going to play Cam Akers, he was going to bring it back with a cheap piece on the other side. So I think that was pretty sharp. Playing Allen Lazard at 4.5%. Obviously, if he didn't think that this game number 4 was going to go well, taking a lower owned Saints D, I think is something that certainly made sense. Paying up to be contrarian a little bit at 3,300, getting them at 7%. Well-constructed team for sure. Like, obviously the Singletary failure didn't really end up mattering on this slate. It's what got him to these primary pieces. So I guess goes to say that you can still have failures, especially in a smaller field like this on a 4-game slate. So I'm not sure how. I don't think there was any late swapping here whatsoever. So just build the nuts on Friday. I guess that's the play.
Should also mention, though, I know I was kind of poo-pooing correlation here. My buddy Eric Beimfor sitting in 5th place of the Game Changer 2, and he's always looking to execute correlation. And he had the triple stack with Baker Mayfield, Landry, Higgins, and Hooper, then use those cheaper price tags to jam in Hill and Kelsey, which ends up being beautiful when Mahomes leaves early, then nails Aaron Jones, Cam Akers, and then has Ravens D down there. So there were paths, I guess, with heavy correlation to get there in small field, and Eric definitely executing it there.
Was a chalky team for Eric.
It is.
What are you doing, Eric? Just beating us with chalk?
Well,
I'm tilting.
Do you know what's also interesting? There were some funky ownerships in this Game Changer relative to some of the others. I mean, we have Alvin Kamara at 28% in this, which is crazy. And then I was just looking at Beimfor's, and he has Higgins, who was pretty chalky elsewhere, at 15.9%. So the ownership was kind of all over the map in this contest.
4.5% Le'Veon.
Like, have we seen QB failures like this at such a rate? I mean, this is insane. Mayfield 12, Lamar Jackson 8, Josh Allen drops back 44 times, 12. Drew Brees has 1.6 at halftime. Goff doesn't do anything. Rodgers is going to win the slate at quarterback with a 25 spot. Rodgers at 2%, man. I mean, that's a good play. And Sammy Knoll looks like he's going to take this down most likely.
Man.
And he gets the Rodgers stack at 2% with Lazard at 5, Devontae Adams at 5 in this. Like, I saw some ownership going away from Devontae, but I really thought Lazard and Tunyon would still be kind of second tier chalk, and they were not at all. The disparity between Austin Hooper and Tunyon, I think, was like 40% to 2% in a lot of contests, which is, nutty. And then even Lazard, I thought, he was kind of in some of our optimals before Cup was out. I think he was in our optimal at ETR before Cup was out. So and Dink really liked him. I didn't see the scenario where he was 5%. And it's obviously driven by results a little bit that I'm tilting it. Like, if he had sucked, I might not be bringing it up. But regardless of the result, playing him at 5 to get Rodgers, Devontae Adams, and Alan Lazard for a combined 12%, feels pretty good. And you could have brought it back with, Reynolds or something.
And I've never seen a quarterback slate like this in my entire life, man, literally. So, like, the quarterback that's going to lead the slate didn't even throw for 100 yards. He threw for 2 touchdowns. But even just, like, pass, like Rodgers, Mahomes gets hurt. He's going to be the number 2 quarterback. And then it drops off heavily. Jared Goff, Josh Allen, Baker Mayfield, Lamar. I mean, obviously this other game's still in progress. But this is one of the grossest quarterback, like, slates I've ever seen. It's, like, not even that close. It's crazy.
And you said that this was kind of set up for the late night hammer. That's part of the reason why. Like, if a cheap Breeze or a cheap Brady gets up with Rodgers, some of these New Orleans, Tampa Bay stacks get there, but it ain't happening.
Like, if we want to, have a little bit of optimism here for the closest thing we have to a sweat is, so we're in the $1,500 game changer. That's not looking good. And then we maxed out the juke, and we do have a team sitting in 27th. We only have Alvin Kamara going. We are cashing for 1,000, but there's a decent amount of dead teams ahead of us and a few teams even with PMR that don't have Kamara. So if we could get a big Kamara second half here, I think we could probably climb a good 15 spots or so, depending on how that shakes out.
Yeah, we could top 10 this.
Mm-hmm.
What's hard, even with the flatter payout structures, is you're still not climbing a lot until you start getting into like the top 6. I don't know if we have the legs for that, but it'd still be nice to get to that top 10. If you get to 9th place, you're returning 2K, and that makes us close to even on the slate. And when you're in a cold streak, sometimes, you'll take those and get out with something and make it a little bit easier to enter the following week.
And ownership was definitely all over the place. Kamara was 28% the game changer. And then we just look at the juke, like you guys said, 44% in the juke. So Kamara and his ownership was completely all over the board. So, man, these Chiefs guys, like the fact that both of them got there, like you said, that ended up being like the big difference, right? Because they're all like 50% plus. I didn't think Kelsey, Tyreek, sure, but like Mahomes still just absolutely piled on at 30+%, depending on what contest you're looking at. So people made it work, and that's they're getting rewarded for it for sure.
This was something that would have been, if you guys wanted a clip for Tilt Space, it would have been if we were live when that Higgins near touchdown. I mean, that was so disgusting. First of all, the bullshit rule, and then him getting targeted with the helmet. It should have been a penalty at the very least at the 1. I mean, that was this team right here. Oh my God, we do have a chance probably at first if that's a touchdown.
On this slate, those 4 points for the passing touchdown for Mayfield are a pretty big deal, right? I mean, that puts him value-wise is like probably the number 2 value behind Rodgers. Raw score puts him 3rd, still behind Mahomes, but value-wise better than Mahomes. And yeah, and the Browns, maybe win that game. But Hooper, man, seeing that we played a 40% Hooper, but that's the thing with the correlation, right? If you're going to correlate the team, you're going to double Mayfield. You got to kind of play the cheap pass catchers that let you do that. And we played the really cheap double, which I don't have a problem with. It just, it's always a tough slate when you're playing into chalk, and the chalk is kind of, I don't want to say the chalk went nuts, but the non-chalk didn't do what it needed to do.
For sure.
It didn't really have that one outlier performance you had to have. It was more about getting Reynolds and Lazard to kind of unlock getting up to it. It turned into a raw point slate, right?
Mm-hmm.
You just wanted as much raw points as you could get in. And that happened to be through the expensive guys.
Yeah, avoid the landmines.
Kareem Hunt, 7 touches in this game, ends up being the 5th highest scoring running back. Like this, I can't even handle this right now.
While just peppering Nick Chubb with all these screen passes that he dropped. That was so bizarre.
Yeah, well, maybe that's why they don't throw to Nick Chubb. We found that out.
Man, this truly is the Dust Bowl here with Brady and Breeze, man.
I'm glad I don't have that up right now in terms of like I can watch it on DK Live and be slightly less tilted because I've just assumed that game is mostly just going to continue to suck, but actually watching it happen is a little bit worse.
So my guy Clay in the chat wants us to talk about Meikle versus Robinson. So in this lineup that we're sweating right now, we didn't have the money to get up to DeMarcus Robinson. And I don't want to put words in your guys' mouth. I don't think either of us felt super strongly either way. It was just kind of a cap fit thing.
I think one thing you said, Pete, about that decision, though, and I know we didn't have the salary to make it work either way, was if we were going to not have Tyreek on this team, you thought that maybe having Hardman, like that big play upside, would make some sense. So I think that was at least if we did have the salary, that would be a tiebreaker I think we could have made.
Hey, Joe, you want to tilt some?
Sure.
If we switched contests, if we put the right team in the right contest.
Do this, Mike. Don't.
I like doing this to Joe.
No, I'm in recovery. I don't care about this
anymore. Probably would be we would probably finish top 5 in the game changer for 5 figures.
Yeah, but I mean, at the same time, like, what was the week we won the game changer? Like, who knows?
I love it, Joe. You've turned it around.
I'm trying.
You're right.
I'm fading the chalk, and I'm absolutely wearing it in the face right now. You guys happy?
I am happy, but not in a negative way. Usually, you part of the reason why you don't like when we attack slates like this is you're worried about the wrong team in the wrong contest. So I like that you're just shrugging it off.
Whatever. This slate's
like he's having
brutal.
such a rough day when he just like ships every single showdown slate that has Stephon Diggs on it.
I gave every single cent of that back, so don't worry about it.
Joe, where's your bankroll management, my dude?
It doesn't exist. If there's one thing that I am extremely lacking, it's self-control when it comes to bankroll management. Pete, that's supposed to be your area. You're supposed to keep us on the rails. You've done a pretty good job with that, I guess, this year.
My bankroll management is good. I just haven't won anything for like 10 weeks.
Yeah. Well.
Yeah. I do think there is some, like, we were pretty disciplined. I mean, we took our shots, but we've had a pretty long cold stretch here, and we're still going to double our bankroll for the year, almost regardless of what happens today. So I'm proud of us, guys. I know it's a little disappointing given the really hot start to the year, but if you can take some shots throughout the year and still end up with a profit, we're free rolling next year. So yeah, kudos to us.
Oh, by the way, guys, shout out to Noel. Looks like he didn't end up shipping the PGA tournament. He was up 100K for a little bit, but he is very, very live to win the Gladiator on FanDuel. He's the only guy that has Traquan Smith in the $3,300 entry, currently shipping that. So Good luck, Noel.
Looking forward to those super chats over the course of the week, Noel.
Pretty sure Michael Thomas just dropped a ball. Yep. Good job, Michael Thomas.
Mm-hmm.
What is his deal? How did he drop that one? That was bad.
Yeah, that was bad. We are up to 21st in the juke. But yeah, we really got to get top 10. But it's clustered tight, like Peter said, and there aren't a ton of Kamara teams.
How does Michael Thomas not catch that ball?
I think he's kind of in between, I've got a goose egg. Should I keep the goose egg? If I'm not going to get the goose egg, I want to, do really well. He doesn't want to middle his fantasy performance. So I think he was uncertain as to whether he should catch that ball, knowing that he wouldn't be able to take it for a touchdown.
So what do we think? Do we think we're gonna play? Are we gonna play a 2-game slate next week? What are we gonna do?
Maybe we play Showdown.
I mean, I don't even know why you would want to play Showdown with me. You just win every weekend Showdown. Bill's Showdown slate.
No, I think we play Showdown and we just put lock Diggs and captain and just run it every which way.
You realize he saved the last 2 weeks for me. Literally, like there's been portions of these last 2 weeks that have been so bad. Like last week, the slate where Jared Goff wasn't supposed to play and all those teams that left him in of their Showdown lineups won. That was a total loss slate. Like literally back-to-back weeks, like it's been just one or Showdown slate that saved me or got me to even or just like a slight win. It's not even a bit. It's just lock him in a captain and just hope for the best. Like people still aren't doing it, man. It's like 12% every slate. I don't know.
All right. Well, I'm down to like Diggs and captain. It's a great way to celebrate the Bills going to the Super Bowl next week. So
is Mahomes gonna be anything?
The few things we have to celebrate this week is Leone's Bills here heading. Tell us, what was your sweat like there, thinking you for a second might get to host the Browns to go to the Super Bowl?
Man, when they got the ball back with a decent amount of time left, down 5, I was pretty happy because, I mean, to host 3 straight playoff games, I don't even know if I don't even think that was literally possible before, because you definitely had to go on the road in round 2 before they got rid of the second bye. Would have been the only team ever. I don't know. That just would have been insane. And our odds to go to the Super Bowl would have been really good. I think someone told me the line's KC -3, which feels like a, Mahomes may play, Mahomes may not play type of line. I'm assuming I would think that Bills would be favored if Mahomes was out, or at least closer to even. And I think it'd be closer to like 5 or 6 if Mahomes does play.
Do you remember what the line was when they played at the beginning of the season? That Monday night game?
like 5 or 6.
Yeah.
But I don't.
Traquan times 2. That is probably good for my Showdown lineups.
Let's go, Pete. You had a nice sweat there, right? With your Traquan captains?
Yeah, but yeah, that was good.
At the point where I'm sweating long shot FFPC playoff teams, so hoping to get some Mike Evans coming back.
What percentage did you get him a captain? Because he was like 30% across the board pretty much, but no one played him a captain.
Right. Well, I was doing my thing where I'm playing the big $3 and the big $1 that had like 78,000 people in it. So some of my unique lineups were Traquan captain, and I almost paused and I was like, do I really want to do this? And then I just let it rip. So yeah, I have a decent amount of Traquan captain. He's like 2%.
What contest is this? Like, what's the big prize that you're in?
Let's see.
So I'm like the guy. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Oh no, you're good. I'm in. It's like the 200K play action that has 20,000 to first, and so like I'm in 33rd right now with a Traquan captain team, and then I just have studs all around it: Brady, Kamara, Breeze, Evans, and Godwin.
Sorry, you said the play action?
Yeah.
Noel's blowing up my phone right now. Apparently, he's up 300K now. He's winning the entire slate on FanDuel right now with his Traquan teams.
Jesus.
All right, let's see if I can find you.
Man,
I am duped a little bit, but I have the 1v1 for first, and it's my Godwin versus their Fournette. So Fournette 9.8, Godwin at 3.9. So that's like that touchdown we saw slip through his hands. That's like like a $7,500 touchdown right now.
Jeez.
Can you link me on Twitter, Pete? I can't find
this
it.
Is
yeah, but
this is not not the most optimistic of moods in here. Things aren't breaking our way.
Pete's gonna get there. Godwin's gonna get there late. These Breeze lineups aren't looking so hot without that old Traquan though on the main slate.
No.
Well, at least breeze through the pass this time.
Small victories. Pete, I got to give you your props, man. J.K. Dobbins, top 5 running back this week. He got 12 points. 13 touches as expected.
Your disdain for Dobbins is so widespread that one of the comments on my YouTube video this week was, you better not catch Joe Holka hearing about your Dobbins love.
Anytime you can jam in J.K. Dobbins and Kareem Hunt for a combined 17 touches, you have to do it, man. You'll get there every time. Godwin about to get a TD here. Are they close?
I think that's someone just wishful thinking, but I don't know. I'm probably a little decent bit behind. My stream's always behind. Man. It just feels somber. Leonard Fournette just caught all these passes for first down since Peter made a comment to me, a sarcastic comment about a drop Fournette pass.
I know. The worst thing about that too is when I do that mush is I'm on like delay. So normally I'll like make the comment like as he's already catching a pass. Like, God damn it.
He legitimately has 3 first down catches since you've said that. Which I mean that's a lot in a 15-minute game time span for a running back.
Yeah.
He's crushing too. I didn't end up with any of him. We didn't even talk about how we were all set up to play Darrell Williams, and I kind of talked us onto Le'Veon Bell, and Peter, kind of sheepishly agreed, even though he didn't really agree. He didn't push back a ton, and those.
But so
10...
I cave. I respect your opinion so much because I was on the Line Movement show. Joe can attest, and I went on like a long rant about why I thought Darrell Williams was clearly the play.
Very quickly flip-flopped for the record also.
That's what I'm saying. I caved. Well, because Leone had passed the nugget that made me cave was the Nathan Janke from PFF talking about how he thought the Le'Veon Bell thing was injury related from that week 16, which I thought the week 16 was them tipping their hand to us. And so that narrative got blown up if Le'Veon Bell was injured.
And there was evidence to support that because he didn't play the whole fourth quarter. He kind of started the game ahead of Darrell Williams, and then he missed practice the following week, Wednesday and Thursday. So I think that's what it was not just Janke's tweet, but then like the follow-up evidence, you're like, a detective there. You're like, oh, this makes sense. And then he full practice all week this week. And it's like, all right, it's going to be Le'Veon. And the tough part too was there were just teams where we couldn't do anything with the salary from Bell to Darrell. And I was like, well, I'm just playing Bell at this point. Did Brady throw a pick? Oh no, incomplete.
That's the other thing too, is sometimes like on a main slate, the salary difference between them would have been enough for you to break ties in favor of the cheap guy. But on these slates, we had like in that spot where we used Bell, like the salary didn't help us anywhere else that we wanted to. So you're just like, oh, I'll split it, where I'm pretty sure if we had a guy and we needed that extra, what was it, 1,100 or 900?
Yeah,
we would have happily gone to Darrell. And I ultimately didn't mind splitting it. It just sucks.
I guess the only but that team where it would have made the biggest difference is a team where we've got the Brees, Kamara, Thomas stack. That is
solid.
Pretty dead.
Yeah.
Goodness gracious. Man, Tyreek put up this score too, and I'm like, 10 for 100, Thomas. That's all you need. Slant boy, you don't even need to find the end zone. You can beat Tyreek. And
I mean, Slant Boy literally just needs to find the ball into his hands one time.
He almost caught a touchdown early too, and I was like pretty pumped, and now he's got 0.
I'm very defeated right now. It honestly didn't matter what you did with swaps. because most of the swaps that you would have made would have failed. Chubb, fail. Basically any of these New Orleans guys outside of Traquan Smith, fail. Basically any of these Tampa Bay guys, maybe Evans, fail. It was just find a way to play the Chiefs. Maybe luck into Aaron Lazard. Yeah, should we go to Top Shot? You guys want to show me what to do?
Let's open a Top Shot pack on stream.
I'm waiting for my fucking account to get verified. I'm so tilted. I need to be able to get in on this Cool Cat release tomorrow. Come on, verify my account.
There's a large percentage of people in the chat that have no idea what we were talking about, man. I was actually doing some searches on YouTube today about Top Shot. Like, the content doesn't exist. There's like some very small channels that are doing content for it.
Oh, are you going to get in the Top Shot content? If you're first, man.
Davis and I have already been talking a little bit about it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still wanting to get more familiar with it, but I've been spending lots of time on it. And I know oh, go ahead.
No. I was just going to say I've kind of experienced it vicariously through others. Like, I've been busy with other stuff, and we've got a Top Shot Slack channel that's just blown up.
Is that just between you guys that like work with a company, or is it like you guys have a Slack for ETR?
It's just a Slack with some friends, just kind of like a friend chat group, and everyone's into it. It's nuts. Even Dink bought some stuff. He said he wanted to get into Top Shot, and just so that he could say he got it in before me on something.
I gave Dink permission. I messaged him and I was like, dude, if you want to go in on a Jokic, let's do it. And he's like, something about my account got limited or whatever, or he was already tapped out with his bank. And I was like, I'll handle the crypto. Don't worry about it. I was like, do you want to go in on a Jokic? And then he didn't respond. So I think he's chickening out.
Isn't that Jokic still there? It was there last night.
Yeah, the one I sent him.
Yeah, dude, buy it. I'll split it with you.
I need some action.
Right. Oh, you can't now, right?
I've literally been DMing in the Discord with Top Shot support about trying to fast track this.
Oh my goodness.
But everything you've bought has just been going up. Like, the fact that you're even, I don't know, dude. I have so much FOMO. I can't even control
it. Wait, should I buy this Jokic? You want to split it?
Which one? Which cereal? Which cereal are you looking at?
Let me see.
This is how you know the NFL slate's gone bad.
I think it's gone now.
So can you explain? So the numbers matter, right? So the lower serial numbers are good, but also the numbers, if it matches the player number. Do I have that right? I'm very I guess green still on the research on this.
And I actually wanted to mention this to you because Leone was saying in our chat earlier about how this is one of the big things that's different from the regular sports card world, where they make, let's just say, 5,000 of a card. It doesn't matter which of those 5,000 you have. They're all worth the same. On Top Shot, the number is very important. And one thing I was going to tell you, Leone, is it's built into their almost site functionality. One of their sort terms is by highest serial and lowest serial.
I saw that.
They're encouraging that in a way. Yeah.
It's baffling me because the idea that the card is valuable is because of the scarcity of the card. It doesn't, matter what order you get it. Maybe because of the blockchain, being first on the blockchain, or something.
Why does that make it cooler? It just makes it cooler.
But it's just nuts to me. This Jokic, for example, there's only 49 of them.
Are you looking at the Cosmic or?
Yeah. There's 49 of the Cosmic. Series 1, this handles one. Number 36 is priced at $5,336, $5,000. All the serial numbers in the top 20. Oh, number 7's at 6,000. Oh.
I have this up on the screen right now. Let's see how many viewers we can lose. Toss a dislike on this video if you never want to hear about Top Shot again.
Should we buy this number 7?
See, and also, that's what's... Oh, go ahead.
Well, what's the difference, Peter, between the Cosmic Series 1 versus the Hollow MMX Series 1? They're both serial, legendary of about 50 total. is there a big difference between those?
I don't know the difference between those two. I mean, they're both what, like 50 to 75 limited edition in each of those?
One's 50, one's 49. So
Yeah.
it's the same play.
I mean, to me, that's been what's kind of fun, is to just see the kind of like inefficiencies. And I think right now, obviously, the market's going to get so much more efficient as people are streaming in. But there's a lot of people who were probably buying cards and listing them like a month ago that have just not gone in updated listings because they haven't realized the boom. And so
Mhm.
you were able to pick off some like really mispriced. Like I got a Hassan Whiteside #2 block from their series 1 for like 150, and like the #1 listing and the #3 were each listed for like 2,000 or something. Like it was just a weird abnormal
Wow.
thing. So that's been what's been kind of fun for me to try to pick off so far. And then I mean, Leone, you were talking to me. Tell people about the card you and Davis bought.
We bought a Tyler Hero. It's a pretty cool and one layup from the finals. It's the one where at the very end of the replay he does like that snarl. And the thesis behind that is, one, it's like it was the NBA finals, young guy NBA finals from his rookie season. And also Hero he's somehow affiliated with this, right?
He's their like main spokesman. Yeah.
Like you make
So
an account, he
Davis-
tells you like what it is as you log
Yeah.
in. Like that's the reason I know about this. That's about as
So
far as I've gotten.
Davis, his stuff gets better billing on the site. So Davis, I think sharply, identified that one before everything kind of went nuts as a really good one. Oh man, Jared Cook fumble.
It is so funny because you read like the replies to Bales and then you also see the chat, and it is so polarized. It's either people are like, I want in, tell me more, like what packs are good, let's do this. And then people are like, I hate this is so stupid. I love how polarized it is for people.
Imagine Bales and Pete are just trolling everyone. Like, what's the most outrageous thing we could tout, and people see if they would like get on board with it. And like, it's so absurd. But I'm with you. Like, I guess there's some people who have no idea what we're talking about. But like, I guess like the one thing that like has intrigued me the most is that it's on the blockchain, #1. But #2, like the actual like process of sports cards and making sure they're graded correctly and they're stored, and like you got to deal with eBay, which is an absolute joke, shipping. Like it's just such a process to like actually do it the right way. And there's so many smart people doing that as well, that it's like the barrier to entry is a lot higher than something like this. This is something I can wrap my head around after you get past that initial, why am I buying highlights that I could watch on YouTube for free? Like it's interesting. I was definitely in the category of people that were like, this is like, I just don't get it. I'm going to sit this one out. But the more I look into it, it's pretty cool.
Bridge the gap. Let's bridge the gap. If there was an NFL version of this, what would be the moments that you would want to own?
The Stephon Diggs, Minneapolis Miracle, no brainer.
Okay,
one of one. I'll buy that today. Can I buy that before it exists?
That would be sick. That one
would be sick.
That is one of the that's a nut moment right there.
Yeah, I will trade my rookie card PSA 10 right now just for 5% of that buy-in for that moment.
Leone, what would be your go-to moment?
Man, this is tough.
It's like a month from now when the Bills win the Super Bowl, right?
Yeah.
So Matthew has a good one, and I was trying to think of this one. So the OBJ catch is obviously like one of the most iconic moments of the past 20 years. But now that Odell is kind of like flaming out of the league, I'm curious how that would ultimately be valued.
Yeah, it's interesting.
There's a couple of Derrick Henry runs, right? Like the 99-yarder against Jacksonville. How much would David Kitchen pay for a low serial number of that?
What's kind of
Marshawn Lynch beast mode run would be an iconic one.
Yeah, dude, NFL would be sick. I don't know if they're progressive enough to do this, but
maybe not. But just like knowing certain things about the NBA that I just know from like starting line movement, that like getting the rights to NBA is a completely different process than it is for every other sport. Like you can basically get photo rights for every other sport, but the NBA you have to do separately because they own everything, right? So if you've already gotten into the NBA, I think the other sports might be almost easier in some ways, because the NBA is like the really tough one because they own everything themselves.
one of our guys who got into it is saying, he signed up for the wait list for UFC.
Yeah.
But it's funny because the physical sports trading card market, NBA is king. It's
100%.
actually better than NFL.
Way
but
bigger.
I think the moments I could see being better for NFL, just because I don't know, it just seems to work a little bit better. But
I think the moments are different than a player, though, right? Like a moment could be popular forever because it's a really cool moment. But like the difference between NBA players and NFL players and sports cards is the shelf life, right? You're basically only going after these young wide receivers or quarterbacks. If it's a moment, that doesn't even matter. It's still like an iconic Derrick Henry run, for example. Like that kind of stuff for NFL is totally different than NBA.
And one of the things that's super hot in the Top Shot thing are these rookie first moments and these rookie, like the LaMelo Ball stuff is crazy. Like the NFL equivalent would be like the Chase Claypool first touchdown, the Justin Jefferson first catch. Like those kind of moments would be extremely popular on the market because everyone's chasing use. Everyone's trying to chase the longevity of who is going to be the guy that's in the league for 10 years and just at the top of the leaderboards year after year.
What kind of got me too was like you look at like the younger generation that maybe not interested in blockchain, but like they're like they'll watch someone on YouTube like unload like Madden packs and like stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like once they could make this like a lot better, and I'm sure they have plans. Like the funding is clearly good because I'm getting YouTube ads constantly. Everything I click on, I get a Top Shot YouTube ad. So someone over there is sharp. They've definitely got a lot of money going into what they're doing. So yeah, I don't know. Like wasn't bullish whatsoever. Was like, what in the world is this? And now I have like more FOMO than anyone on this call.
Two things. One, the overset for Net Mush continues as he gets a receiving touchdown. And the second, one point you made that was really good though, Joe, is the barrier of entry. People don't want, the physical sports card. There's a lot of issues with that. I'm going to shamelessly promote a site I'm invested in, but Star Stock, I feel like is a good combination of the two, because essentially you're trading sports cards virtually, so you don't have to deal with storing them. It's super easy to buy in bulk.
Is that where you can buy a piece of a card too, like a percentage of a card?
No, that's something else. But this is, the card actually exists. Like it's tied to a physical card that someone at some point in time can request. It just, instead of me mailing it to you and then you resell it and mail it to Peter, Star Stock's just putting them in a massive vault. And then that way you can trade and ownership transfers instantly. You can click a button on site that says, get this card graded, and they'll do it for you. So it helps reduce that barrier of entry you talked about, but it's also probably a little bit easier for some people to wrap their head around there actually being a physical item, which I think long-term might not matter, but there's definitely a market for it short-term.
Like I am that direct use case. Like I've been hearing about sports cards forever. I've been kind of like reluctant. I sent both of you guys packs, and I was like, all right, this offseason I want to get into it a little bit more, but I was kind of like slow and reluctant just because of that barrier for entry. And this, I'm not even a big NBA guy, and it immediately captured my attention. Obviously, having the Bales and CSU stamp of approval really helps pull you along, but just from the user experience, it's so clean. It's so addicting. The market is so easy to understand and navigate that, I definitely think it has massive upside. And as Bale said, maybe this isn't the one that ultimately wins out, but this concept, my brain is spinning. Like I'm thinking of like YouTube viral videos. You guys remember the like Charlie bit my finger, the little boy, the British boy?
Yeah.
Charlie.
We're going to be owning that like on the blockchain, like moments like that, like in the future as a digital collectible.
The
like,
Office,
that's gonna be a
like
thing.
shows, stuff like that. Yeah. Yeah.
It's endless. Drewby was saying that too, clips from shows. And
Sure.
people keep saying though, that doesn't have any utility. So much of the stuff that is worth things,
Tell that
it
to
has
the
no
volume
utility.
on this like marketplace right now. There's enough utility to where people care.
I mean, diamonds don't have utility, gold doesn't have utility, but
The market says
if people value it, people think
Honestly,
it's cool.
People say like, the typical like, oh, I can't, physically hold it. I don't have anything. Like if I have a sick card here, like on my shelf, I guess I can like take a photo of it and share it or whatever. But the way these moments link, like you can share these moments and it's a perfect like, URL link. You get to actually watch something in real time. It has your name branded on the moment as the owner. Like, to me, that carries way more, like, even just social cachet value than me having like, oh, I have this random card in a lockbox or whatever.
Can I ask you guys a couple questions? Because like I'm still like earlier on this than you guys. So like in terms of the packs, there's certain packs that are obviously more valuable. Do you have a chance to pick something more rare, right? Or is there some like complete randomness to it? Like, is there a chance that you buy one of these cheaper packs, or is it all based on like I don't even know the exact word for it, but explain the packs to me versus like these ones that are extremely like 53 in existence type of thing.
The common packs, for example, there's a certain set of cards that you kind of know that you can get or not get, and you can get lucky and get better cards than other. Like, I think the common pack now, most of the base cards are out of 7,500 serial numbered, but that you could get one out of 4,000. I think is the absolute best. And then like even within that, obviously they've done a good job of marketing this lower serial number matters more. So that, and there's some cool ones. I opened some with Dink and we got Patrick Williams' first ever bucket for the Bulls. And I immediately said, that's when I first started to get the concept, is opening the pack with him, because I'm like, wow, this is the rookie card. This is the new rookie card. His first ever bucket is what people are going to want. But if you buy the good packs, it's the same concept, just better cards. You can do better or worse within those cards, but you're going to get better serial number. And Peter, right? They have a release. Is it tomorrow night at 8 p.m.
You have to be ready though, right? They're ready to buy these because they go so fast at this point. Like when they unload these new packs, like you have to be ready to buy them right away, right? Because they go away very quickly.
Yeah, and the other thing they're doing, and part of the one they're doing tomorrow, is they have, it's almost a similar concept to like DraftKings with your missions and stuff. So they have these challenge packs where if you collect enough of these specific challenges, then you get a special edition card that is not available in any other pack. So they're really trying to gamify and encourage people to go after specific sets, and then you get a card that is unique too. So they have like a lot of different things going on, and I think that's also where you have to be careful too, of like what the scarcity is ultimately what's going to drive price on these stuff. So making sure that when you are making investments, it's on the asset. That's why I've been focusing on the base series, the first series one, just because those aren't going to continue to have more volume on the cards.
What's the
another Michael Thomas drop?
Jesus, Michael Thomas.
What's the marketplace like? Is it? I get nervous as someone that like just coming in that I'm just gonna get taken advantage of by like these people that are just like trying to grind out these like 10% edges of throwing stuff up to buy, to sell, that sort of thing. Everything's going up, so I guess maybe you don't run into that. But yeah, I don't know.
But someone noted in chat too, you can buy packs and not open them, which anyone who's in the physical sports card world knows. I had National Treasures, a big set, big high kind of end set for cards. 2 summers ago, I almost bought some first off the line National Treasures boxes for NBA. It's the Luka rookie year for about $2,000. Yeah, I had 2 that I just lost in bidding on eBay. Those go for like $10,000 now.
So if you had just have the packs and just like they're chilling in like your collections or whatever it is called.
So if you have a sealed box.
No, I know that, but like for the top shots.
So yeah, exactly. You buy your pack, but you don't have to open it.
Interesting. I mean that's been the play that's like been like tested time and time again, that if you just continue to buy these unopened boxes, like you just print money in 5 years.
What's interesting is the unopened boxes, a lot depends on the physical card world, how good was that rookie class, but what's weird about this is there's no year, you can get cards from different years within the pack.
That's going to evolve, I'm sure though, right? Like,
yeah, I'm curious about that.
Yeah.
Right, Peter, you can get stuff from last year in the common packs now and this year, right?
Yeah. And that's what I was actually curious about, like how far their licensing and their rights agreement, how far that goes back. Like, are we going to start seeing iconic, Jordan, moments? Like, I have no idea, because right now they're clearly focused on this current generation of moments. So I'm going to just guess that has to do with their licensing agreement of when they were able to use the footage for these moments, but I could be wrong.
Well, where's my affiliate code, boys? We got to start a new channel.
I just hope we get an NFL one, because that would be so
cool.
damn fun. And like it's also cool too, as I've already heard, some people say this, like as gifts, giving, not gifts, but gifts to people too, where it's like, oh, we're joking about Dink being a big Jokic guy, and like, oh, it's it's your birthday, I got you one of these moments, and then you transfer it to him and the ownership rights. Like, that's a pretty sweet gift to give somebody.
And send it to him on Twitter or something like that, like on social media, because it's so easy to share these things and link them together. Like, I've only watched a few videos on it, obviously, but it's cool that you can set like a collection of it, and it like plays almost like a video, like your own collection of whatever it is.
Super
cool.
They call them like the showcases.
Yeah, cool.
And then I've noticed that like you can give a flame emoji, and then I think the ones that are getting the most engagement, then they display those collections and showcases.
So the play was just to never play this entire slate, right? We should have just gone all in on Top Shot. Like, that was clearly the play. Unless you're null.
Maybe we take whatever we get out of the where are we in the juke right now, guys?
We are
25th.
in 25th.
Okay. Maybe we
Looks
take
like we're probably gonna cash 1K or $800.
All right, let's start browsing the market for 1K.
What do you mean? We're down, Pete.
No. I mean, when you enter a tournament, that money is gone.
Correct.
And so we won $1,000.
Can't confirm.
On a digital moment.
Can someone show me how to take out the amount entered on my DraftKings app? Like, I think I'd be a much better tout.
How to do that.
Yeah, I think I'm like by default a better tout at that point, though, right? If I can take that off.
Yeah.
I have some very average showdown teams right now, if anyone cares. Pete, how are you doing? How you holding?
No, I've been dropping. I believe that Lenny Fournette touchdown was bad for me.
Fucking Lenny.
I was talking to a group of Rojo truthers about the second leg of the FFPC. They did not want to play Lenny.
I tried to convince Ben Gretch and Pat Kerrane to play Leonard Fournette. Yeah, right.
I got heckled. They were like, "We knew you were gonna suggest Fournette. We had it at minus 1,400. You would suggest Fournette."
Well, literally, you want to know how deranged those two are? It was like Rojo had one carry, and they're like, "Damn, we should have played him in the round 2 contest." It's like, you didn't even know if he was gonna play today.
Rojo has 3 points right now, but he has 7 rush attempts. That's a very Rojo line.
How many points does Lenny have?
Let's look.
All right.
Lenny is leading the slate at running back with 10 rush attempts and 5 catches. What a day, man. What a day. What a day. Can we talk about how, I mean, Jameis Winston's making a push into the top 5 here at quarterback with 6 points.
Oh, I
What
have
a
to laugh
world.
so I don't cry. Did the Fournette being the top running back score, is that what scared Pete off, or was it something else?
Man, I think he's still beating himself up over the Darrell Williams thing, man. Like, you weren't on the show. He legitimately was all in on Darrell Williams until you guys talked him off. Yeah, someone in the chat, Daily Sports Lineups, what's up, my man? He said, I should listen on Darrell Williams. Great call, $2.99 super chat. Appreciate you, man. Yeah, Pete completely flip-flopped as soon as he got any pushback on that. I think that's what he's most upset about.
Wow.
Someone in the chat, Leone, was saying they're curious, like, what's a good first purchase? Like, someone that doesn't want to go completely all in, but wants to get some skin in the game here.
I mean, it's only $10 for a base pack. I feel like you should buy base pack to sort of just understand how it works.
What's the high-end entry point? If you want to jive in head first, don't care, just want to ask questions later, what's that entry point?
There's not really one. Then you have to buy individual moments, because there's not, or wait for.
Yeah, I was going to say, you go to the marketplace, you can search by some of the series, you can look for the cosmic, the legendary, or whatever.
To go for?
I mean, well, like the cosmic one is
I
believe that's the one bail.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And they have the Ja Morant #1 serial edition dunk, which is a super sick dunk.
How do I get to Cosmic? I'm on the marketplace right now.
So if you're in the marketplace and then there's the search thing and it says
Filters?
you can search by players, teams, and sets. And if you just talk Cosmic, it'll say Legendary Cosmic Series 1.
Serial number. I got listing date, serial number, lowest ask.
No, don't do the drop down. Do the actual search bar where you can type stuff in and type Cosmic.
How do you spell Cosmic? C?
COSMIC.
Found it. So these are the ones that make it move.
Yeah, and then you can search by their different things.
Is it a problem that I don't know anything about NBA? That's probably a problem, right?
I know zero. I know that.
I mean, you
yeah
probably want to run things by someone
that
knows
does know the players
before you I mean, if you want to buy packs, I mean, it doesn't matter your knowledge, but yeah, if you're going to delve into the marketplace, I do want to try and get one of these packs tomorrow night.
When does that happen?
8 p.m. Eastern,
I believe.
How much is a pack?
Those are just, I think they're going to just be $9, right?
Do they cap you on like how many you can buy?
I don't know now for these limited edition ones how that works.
Cool Cat Series 2. Oh, these I thought there was a better pack coming tomorrow night than it looks like there is.
Yeah, no, I think this is the Cool Cats one. I'm just watching.
So it's like a
Jokic
base set. It's just what is it?
It's another, I think, challenge set where if you get all of the cards from the challenge, then you get an extra rare one as a bonus.
Okay.
They said $14 in the chat, 5 cards a pack.
5 cards a pack. What's
There was a $200 pack that sounded like if you got it, you got in pretty good. It sold out pretty quickly. I totally missed the boat on that.
What's the user experience like when you open a pack? Like, what's it like?
It's cool.
It's cool.
Is it like a Madden type of thing where it like does a little like an animation or something?
Yeah. It has like the 3 things and then you click it and it like goes full screen. I was messaging with Pete and I was telling him like they should enable a slow mode on it to like increase your sweat on it. Where I was thinking like you go pixelated on the player and it takes like, 30 seconds for the pixelation to show the player. And then you could do a slow reveal on the serial number.
Like you would have control of that as like a user, like the reveal of it.
Or I just thought you would click a button that says, hey, I want the slow mode
the
experience.
slow sweat. Okay, got it.
And then like, because the serial number is a big one and right now it just shows it right on the screen, the number. But if you slowly like pulled back on digits and then sweating to see how many digits there were, like I feel like that would be
I want to
cool.
do that with my mouse. I want to like slowly like kind of move it away, put it back. Like have you watched any of these unboxings for like sports cards? It's absurd, man. Like they're literally just the entire time they're like just kind of teasing you on it.
I saw Smiz like really excessively when he knows it's a good card, like just go as slow as humanly possible.
You see him cut a card in half?
Yeah. Wasn't it a Haskins base card?
Yeah. Sharp move. There's a lot of crossover and people that like stuff that we do that like alternative like investing type of stuff.
Rojo, Leone, you see that run? Is it coming back?
I'm so behind.
I just saw a bit. What's that?
Oh, we were talking about how Leonard Fournette is currently leading the slate at running back at 4,900.
Well, I'm glad you had that conversation while I went to the bathroom.
Yeah.
I think it's coming back.
That's why we can't have nice things.
That's just... Leonard Fournette's going to be the RB1 on the slate solely off receiving.
Oh my God. Did Andre in the chat, is this a thing? The peeps that wear gloves when they open the packs kill me. How did I not get a parody card pack video?
It's not too late, man. It's really not too late.
I want to be in like a hazmat suit opening up one of these packs.
You got to I'll send you some of like the sleeves for it so you can like get real. Yeah. We'll do like a really obnoxious like overhead view, like something. Yeah. There's a lot of things we can do here.
I get a
Ty
drone.
Ty Johnson just had a sick catch on 3rd and 11 to add to the amount of receivers with more points than Michael Thomas on the slate.
That is just so tilting.
I'm tilting right now, but when you get this run over, and maybe you guys have some other stuff going on where it's not as bad as what I'm looking at right now on my screen. But like, I'd almost rather get absolutely dump trucked like this than have like a lot of hope and have it go really wrong at the end. I'd rather literally get destroyed like this than make money and like really miss out on like a top end score because of something stupid. Do you guys feel the same way?
Well, last Sunday was honestly the biggest like gut punch I have had all season. And like, I knew I wasn't going to win. Like everyone was like, oh man, like it's not over till it's over. I'm like, I fucking know. I'm just telling you what my emotions were, dude, it was an absolute gut punch to go from winning a GPP to not making any money in the second half. So I am completely with you. I would much rather get buried early. And just you move along like I've had weeks, back pre-corona days. It's like, yo, you get dusted in the first hour. I go to the gym, I do some errands. Mm-hmm. Like you're ready for the next thing. But when you get strung along, oh my God, it's the worst.
Some of the best Sundays I've ever had is when I got absolutely destroyed. Now it was over in the first 30 minutes. Like, okay, slate's over. I'm going to go play pond hockey. See you guys later.
Yeah. I mean, you want to get paid off when you get things right. We had a couple of those towards the end of the season. I know Peter had the tough spot last week, but those ones where you end up, cashing not that much different from a min cash.
Right.
Like you were competing for a top GPP and then you end up cashing 1K and min cash is like 800. And it's like, okay, great. Yeah. Great. It came this close to winning, 20K and then basically min cashed.
Yeah.
Do you think we got a little bit cocky at times this year? Like, obviously, we were way, way up by like week 7, week 6, and then like pretty steady decline from there. Which I mean, it's gonna happen with like the way we're playing anyway. But like, I don't know. I don't think we necessarily played any differently, so that was probably right. But I don't know. Just like reflecting on our season a little bit.
I mean, you're always feeling good when you have win 2 GPPs in 5 weeks. You're feeling good. But I don't think we played dumb, as a result of that. I think we played pretty well. And like I just said, we had a couple weeks at the end of the year where we were close, We had the 1 week where I think we were first or second after the early slate, and we just said this one game just needs to not go off, and the game went off. It was kind of akin to Peter's experience last week, where we went from thinking we were going to win a GPP and being mega live to, I don't even think we cashed.
And I think it's also just being realistic about exclusively playing GPPs and being realistic about what your goals are. And I mean, if you would have told any of us at the beginning of the season, you're going to have X amount of losing weeks, but you're going to win 2 GPPs that are very top heavy prize pool, we would all take that in a heartbeat, right? Versus like grinding out min cashes where we feel like vaguely better each week because we didn't get dusted. Like that's why we play it, to get access to that. And I feel like we did get it in good. And I feel like we did build smart lineups. And that's what makes it hard to be exclusively GPP players, because you have to take your lumps week after week. And I'm just super grateful that we front loaded our wins because it allowed us to enjoy this time. Whereas if we got our wins in the last 2 weeks, imagine how much our assholes are clenched submitting these lineups as our bankroll just bleeds and bleeds and bleeds. We would be beaten down, demoralized men if that was the case.
It's true. It's true. The middle of the season's tough though, man. Like I feel like it's not like by accident that like more often than not, a lot of us like have really good starts, sometimes really good finishes, and the middle is a little bit hairy just because like that's when things start to normalize a little bit with like we know a little bit more about these teams. Like there's a lot of good content out there that never used to be out there in the middle of the season, right? So I mean, at least that's how my experience has been. I've had really good starts, good finishes. Hopefully we get some preseason DFS next year, but the middle has been more of a struggle, which is kind of why I was a little bit more open to, I guess, getting outside my comfort zone and playing a little more contrarian this year. So I think that's been really helpful. For like the middle of the season, we've still had some hits and trying to, I guess, expand to some of the stuff we're doing, but doing it in Showdown has been good. But is that your guys' experience at all? Like the beginning, like when there's more uncertainty, sometimes it's even a little bit better.
I don't know, Nessa. I think it's just been kind of random for me. I do think it's probably a little bit better for the way we play. I mean, the more uncertainty, the better the way we play. So I think there's probably something to that, before the data normalizes. Uh, so I think that makes sense. But, a lot of the big hits I had this year were exacerbated by a couple of things. Oh, Gronk almost touchdown. By like just some outlier performances. It wasn't necessarily like the Aaron Jones week when he went off. I had a huge week that could have very easily gone bad, and it would have been a much tougher season. So I don't know. It's tough to say.
I feel good about how we approach this year. I feel good with our bankroll management. We did scale it back a little bit when we were, having a rougher stretch, and yet also, trying to capitalize on the weeks that we felt good. And again, I don't know if it's an elephant in the room, we're also doing fucking content. We're trying to, I'm not saying we made any suboptimal lineups, but we're breaking ties in favor of playing games in the late slate when we're going to be on the show. Like, we wanted to do this to have fun, to share this experience with you guys, to tilt with you guys. And I think that was all a part of the experience. So even if we didn't finish as hot as we would have liked, I have, as Adam Levitan might tweet out, no regrets tattooed on my chest.
The content thing goes both ways. Like, we're doing it to have some sweats, but also just like there's been times, at least for me, I'm sure you guys feel this way. There's been some Sundays where we're scrambling a little bit. We're trying to get our lineups done. We're 30 minutes before lock. We're trying to make sure that we're making good decisions that we can at least justify later on. And there's certain weeks where more conversation happens beforehand, and other weeks where we just kind of wing it. So I guess that would be some of my regrets just overall, is that to juggle everything we're doing, there's times where roster construction probably could have taken a little bit more of my prioritization probably.
Yeah, it was. I mean, we're all juggling a lot of things. Joe's doing multiple streams, managing line movement stuff, all of his own lineups. Leone's updating projections for ETR, getting his own lineups in. I'm trying to get out the Fantasy Life newsletter, sometimes forgetting to update things. And then, we were all juggling a lot. And again, no one is asking for any sympathy, but it sometimes is a lot to do right.
I do think there's this balance too between, we probably, if we're making the weeks, we're making 3 or 4 teams, sometimes we're just throwing out players we like and we're building around that. And maybe each lineup individually isn't, fully thought out as it could be. But I also think sometimes that's a pro, because a lot of times when people try and fully think through a lineup, their brain goes to the 99th percentile outcome and what needs to happen. And sometimes I think it's good to be a little bit more random with your construction. Like, we still want the right correlation, we still want the right leverage, but not overthinking every aspect of the lineup. And, oh, if this player does this, it means this, and we need this game to do exactly this type of thing.
I think that's a really good point too, because again, with all of this stuff, we're making so many decisions that are like 50-50 coin flips, 55-45 decisions. Like, a lot of it in the aggregate doesn't matter. And so if you were just making one lineup a week, you would be labor and stress over all of those individual decisions, even though whether you play DeMarcus Robinson or Mecole Hardman over 100 slates in that exact same scenario, if you sim it, it doesn't fucking matter, right? Like, it doesn't matter. So the fact that sometimes we come in, we have the guys we have our preferences for, but ultimately we were making good lineups. We were making correlated lineups. We were using leverage. We were factoring in ownership. And when you were doing all those things correctly, then you just hope you're clackety clacking and hoping the chips fall in your favor.
Like even in like hockey, like when I was playing a lot of NHL DFS, I would like actively tell myself I'm not starting lineups until 30 minutes before the slate, because I'll sit there and tinker. And by the time like I got to like an hour and 15 minutes into like the building process, I had like already gone. I wasn't even using my first instincts at that point, and you just tinker into oblivion. So I think that like capping that is pretty sharp in a lot of ways. Like those first instincts are usually right. So, there's a lot to learn from this year, I think, and things are changing, right? Like there's always going to be new games where there's different edges. I kind of like that little niche that I found in Showdown. I know Peter's doing something slightly different in Showdown, but something that he's been having a lot of success with, and like the 20 max and that sort of stuff, when everyone's a little bit more focused on the 150 max stuff. But the smaller field stuff still definitely viable in Showdown. But it's like every year find something that and it's not even, you don't even know if you're good at it because the sample is so small, but find something where you think people are creating like suboptimal lineups or making bad decisions, and just really hammer that, because everything, like people are getting good information on the main slate these days. There's news that a couple years ago might have completely changed the slate, people are going to be all over it at this point, right? So totally different game than it was before.
All right, guys, I think we are going to wrap things up here. We're going to be back. We'll do something next week, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll figure
I don't know. We might have to do the early game.
We'll figure something out to where it doesn't ruin his Bills experience.
Yeah. We're not going to do that. We'll make sure it makes sense. That's the beauty about Tilt Space. I believe we can be pretty flexible.
It would honestly be kind of fun to do it while I'm watching the game if it wasn't, but the lag, well, one, I want to watch it with my dad, but two, the lag, like I would lose my mind.
We don't know yet if it'll be Saturday or Sunday, right? Or do we know?
It's Sunday. It's the second game Sunday.
Yeah.
So the NFC games.
Oh, both games are on Sunday.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So we'll figure it out. Maybe we'll do something during the first game. But yeah, we'll figure it out. We'll be back next week. I forgot to berate you guys into liking and subbing, so please do that. Thank you for putting up with our Top Shot diversions. I'm sure you will be hearing us talk about that more as we enter the off season. If it's distracting us now when there's playoff football going on, pretty good chance we'll be talking about it when there's no football. But yes, we appreciate you guys. This has been a super fun year. The chat has made this experience the roller coaster ride we knew it would be. And that is in part to you guys hanging out with us every Sunday night. So please subscribe, please like. We'll be back next week. You guys can check out the line movement shows throughout the week. They got MMA stuff going on. They'll have the betting previews with Dieter and Lamarca and Holka earlier in the week. All of that good stuff. Follow Michael Leone on Twitter, 2 Hats 1 Mike. Get his projections at ETR. Check out all of Holka's live streams. You can find me reviewing my single entry lineups tomorrow on my YouTube channel. So for Mike Leone, for Joe Holka, I'm Peter Overzet. This has been Tilt Space. We'll see you guys next week.